We turn it on.
Blue.
Is that Chris right there?
But
No.
it's gotta be.
Is that back?
Well, I drove past his truck, was at his house.
Yeah, he's calling.
You know, he hasn't got that big job anymore to go up to a 48 on our whopping salaries.
We can, want to get started? Carolyn, you want to get started without Craig?
Carolyn,
Pardon?
did you want to start
Start
without
without
Craig, or do you want to wait, give him a couple minutes?
Your call.
Yeah,
What do you want?
yeah, let's get started. Might as well call the meeting back to order.
Sure.
Lenny,
Lenny, I think Lenny's the,
is north
What's that?
at the top of all of these pages?
What is?
North?
Is north at the top of all the pages. I don't have.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys able to vote after my presentation? I can go, I can wait. if Craig-
No, there's three of us here.
Okay,
but yeah, I don't know if this was information only today or you need votes
I
today.
need votes. I needed a direction because we just need to decide, because we have to decide how to proceed. So it's a full presentation. So I'm okay with you guys doing some other business, and when Craig comes in, to step back.
I don't think there was any other business.
No, there's no other business. You might as well get started, I
Okay.
guess, but
Then I'll get started then.
Before you start, did you get a packet?
here, we made,
Yeah, I made a packet for everyone.
oh, you did?
Yep. I tried to be nice.
Did he put it on your desk?
No, I made a couple, Carolyn made a few copies, so I made copies for Carolyn made, but I didn't.
So can I hand it to you in stages so that it's not all
Sure.
confusing all at once?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, you need this, right? Or yes, no?
Should.
Okay. There you go. There you go. Sorry. I'll come up the other side.
You gave me three
There's 3 different draft bonds proposals.
different people.
There's 3 different proposals.
3 different proposals. And
But you said the one would not, was,
it's best to have all the information than
okay,
me
I didn't
give
print
you.
all. I didn't print the 5.
I think these 3 here. too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
So-
Craig.
Okay, so, for the record, my name is Lenny Avery. I'm the Executive Director of the Oconee County Commission on Aging. And I've nicknamed this project H22. So we had originally started this process back in January when I first got hired. Looked at our projections and I said, okay, what can we do to move forward with the purchase and building of a new senior center? At that time, I reached out to NIMCOG, a lot of other community stakeholders, and we've kind of had this like underground meetings to try to figure out how best to proceed forward and what avenues. In March, we were able to bring in USDA to the table to kind of reach out, and then the whole world went to crap. It basically kind of just threw everything upside down. So the funding that we thought we did have, had secured, had run up, that's kind of took a rabbit trail, okay? So I'm gonna show you the new project. I'm gonna show you the phases of the project, okay? But I'm gonna start off with the overall project.
Hey, Len, if you want to just hold on for about 3 minutes.
Craig's walking in.
Okay, then I can do that.
I'm sorry, I just figured you might as well.
No,
Or,
don't
or
worry.
as he walks in.
Where
you
is-
say, and to wrap it up.
Yeah, there you go.
Is the old building anywhere in these pictures or gone?
The whole,
There is no
Different.
This is a different site completely.
Different site.
Different site completely. So, I know this is ambitious, but I've always been the shoot for the fences kind of person.
We know that already about you. We learned that quick,
Hey, it was a shoot for the
but
fences.
it's a good thing though.
Exactly. With this USDA grant for the money and the food we've been giving away, it was a shoot for the fences. The government was handing out money, and I stuck our little hand up there and said, please give some to Oconee County. And they were like, who are you? Sure. Okay, move out of the way. You know, I mean, we gave away $315,000 worth of food just last month to this county. That's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
very amazing.
And it's not like bad food. It's like, I don't know if you guys seen this.
No, I never did see any of
Hey,
it.
Oh,
Trina,
The
can you read back the vote?
presentation, I mean, we
And
really
to
enjoyed that.
conclude this presentation,
That's the 3 pieces of papers.
okay,
We
So,
call a meeting back to order.
we're gonna start off with the 10,000-foot view. Okay,
10,000 foot
view overall,
view of-
overall view of the presentation.
You have to do that, Lenny, because you're blocking
I'm blocking the
sound.
mic. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of put this out here on the table. Hopefully, you guys can see it.
I got one here.
So basically, what you have here at the top of the screen, right here. Here, I'll hold it to you.
Yes.
Okay, so basically what you have here, for those who are at home, right here is our gym area. This is not going to be conducive for the people at home. So this is our gym area. The original project was 34,000 square feet. Okay, we were estimating at $150 per square foot, which put our guesstimation as a $5.1 million facility. Okay, that was the original project, which would encapsulate the senior center, a business incubator and community kitchen, and a workout area for the community, as well as outdoor basketball courts, tennis courts, pickleball, beach volleyball area, and parking to support. That was the original project. So our goal was to approach USDA, was to approach MEDC, was to approach the EDC for grants. Now, they have said that they could get behind portions of this project. However, it was going to require a feasibility study. A feasibility study requires 6 months, okay, to get off the ground. Maybe they may be able to do it in 2. Then after that, it requires pre-bidding to submit your proposal. Then after submitting your proposal, it requires another submission to see if we can get the money. Then after that, you're looking at 18 months to possibly breaking ground. So to wait to get that, to get all of this on a possibility would be a 3-year track. Okay? So we decided to look at a phased approach. Starting phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Now, personally, I could be selfish and say my responsibilities are only to the seniors. But I said that's not my only responsibility. My responsibility is to the community. Okay? So why can't I leverage what we have to encapsulate some of the things the community needs? Okay? Because I can tell you right now, 90% of business incubators don't make money. They're barely able to keep the doors open. So we said if we put that underneath our umbrella, we are able to keep that afloat. Okay? So, big picture. Moving to a smaller picture, I had our architects design our projects to where a Maginot Line kind of went through. And I said, hey, if I can't get funding for a beautiful art gallery, if I can't get funding for a business incubator, if I can't get funding for a state-of-the-art workout facility and basketball court with racquetball corners, what can we do? Design this building so I can leave it on the cutting room floor and at a later date pick it up. So that's where we're at right now. Right now, we're having to cut off the gym portion because financially we just can't cover that. The senior center cannot cover $5.1 million by itself. Okay? So we're flipping that back around. Now we're looking at just building the senior center in phase 1. Now, this is going to be a little bit redesigned here, okay? So this final schematics is going to look different by Friday. So we're going to have a new updated schematics that I'll be happy to bring to the board. But I wanted you to have something in front of you so you can see.
Does that footprint mean anything to that or not?
It's going to reduce this.
So that front door is what we're looking at there?
Yep. So right now, ideally, the way
I see
designed-
I see it now.
The
Yeah.
way I would design this building
I
was to
see
go senior center access, public access, and I wanted to give the public 24-hour access to a workout facility. especially in COVID. So if you wanted to work out at 5 o'clock in the morning, you were afraid people were going to be there, you come in, you fop in, you get access to the workout, you get access to the sauna, you get access to the gym, you can go run, and you won't have to be around people. If you're a night owl, come in at 10 o'clock at night, okay? But your FOP will give you just key access to only places where you're at. If you were in your business incubator, I had designed a program for our business incubator program to where if you got into this program, you would have 2 years of paying $10 a square foot. So if you got a 10 foot by 10 foot suite, you only paid $100 a month. Can't beat that. And then we are working with the Downtown Development Agency to provide mentorship, provide land for these graduates. At current, our current stakeholder partner with us is NIMCOG and the DDA here in Lincoln. Okay? So this is
DDA, I'm sorry.
Downtown Development Agency
Okay.
of Lincoln. Okay? We have 2 build sites, okay, for this project. Okay, so this is now what we're focusing on, which is going to greatly reduce 34,000 to like 15 or 17,000, right in that sweet spot. Okay? So, the reason why I'm here is because we have 3 proposals. I talked to Julie Wall, who is our representative for the USDA, and she's out of Traverse City, and she presented us with 3 different options. Okay? She said that for 30 years, that the USDA would provide us a loan. Now, I asked her, what's the likelihood? Is this bidding? She said, this is pretty much close to a slam dunk as it possibly is. Okay? Now, the difference between a loan and a grant, loans you got to pay back. Now, at this time, their current initiatives have changed. They don't have grant dollars to pay for large projects like this. They will help us pay for stuff to go inside the building, but not the overall project. The EDC, the Economic Development Center, would only fund and pay for the business incubator. The MEDC would say we would pay your 20% match. So EDC says we'll give you $500,000, but you need to pay 10%. So $100,000 you need to come to the table, or 20%. So MEDC said we would come to the table with that 100,000. Only for the business incubator. So basically, when I told you guys this project, I was going to piecemeal it and try to put it all together. That's what I've been trying to do. Who's going to pay for this section? Who's going to pay for this section? Okay? So, we have 3 proposals for us. We have 1 proposal for 1.65, and another proposal for 2.9, and another proposal for 5.1. I can already tell you, if we're doing this alone, we can't cover that. So, flip over 5.1. Now, we were told by the USDA that building costs has kind of gone up, that we should probably have some type of reserve, okay? So she said that we can deobligate whatever remaining funds we don't use. So let's say, for example, we asked for the 2926 proposal, and we say we want to do that, and we only use 1 million of it. She would deobligate the remaining balance of it, and then we would only be responsible for that 1 million. Now, it confused me how their payments are, because I'm used to, monthly payments. So with USDA, this is how the payment schedule goes. So in column 1, it says year 1, 2021. In column 1, the first 6 months, so after 6 months, we would pay, if we took out almost $3 million, $32,923. 6 months after that, we would pay a secondary payment of principal and interest, which would be about $100,000. And then year to date would be how much we paid that year, would be $134,000.
Lenny, I'm looking.
Yep, you have the same numbers.
Okay.
So first payment, this is the first
Right.
6 months, and then these 2 would be the second 6 months. So it's
Oh,
a
it's
combination.
combined.
Combined.
You're just paying interest twice.
Yeah.
You're splitting your interest up in the
Thank you.
year.
Right. So basically, and then the total amount at the end of the year that we would have paid would be $134,846.
Right.
I can tell you right now, that's above our budget. I was estimating somewhere within our wheelhouse that we can cover is about $60,000 a year, which would be about $4,000 a month. That's where we want to be in our sweet spot. Now, to bring this down, we have liquidity that we can put towards this project. We have also community partners that would give us grants towards this project. So we're not asking for the whole nut. However, when we start this project, we have to ask for the whole nut, and then we can put it towards the project. Everybody understand that? So basically, we're asking
And then
for three.
deallocate what you needed.
Exactly. So if we ask for the whole meal, and then we say, I'm only eating this portion, we only pay for what we use. So the way that is done is that it has to be through a draft bond, and that's through the county. So what we're looking for you guys to do with us is to draft up, and Jennifer Wall said that she'd be happy to sit down with the county to figure out how to do this. You can draft a language that says that the senior center would be sole proprietary of this draft bond, so that the county would be on the hook of it. You know, if you want to partner with us, by all means. But if you can't, we still have to run it through you, and then we would have to go within budget. So of it, like I said, contractor may come back and say $650,000 to build that building. I don't know, but until we get a contractor on board, right now we have architects on board, and it's still waiting for a licensed contractor to kind of give us a truth in lending to say, okay, it's going to cost this much to build this room. It's going to cost that much to do this. Cost that much to do that.
What about the land purchase?
Land is given to us.
Okay.
Site 1, land is given to us. Site B, possibility we may have to purchase. And I'm trying to figure out the best place for the community to access those services.
I guess my question would be, why is it that they need the county to okay or sign on it if we have no obligation to it?
Because to give us that rate, you are a government agency. I'm a quasi-government agency because I operate off of federal and state funds and operate a service that the county has asked me to do. So we're loosely a government agency. In order to get that rate of 2.25 for 30 years, it has to be done through a government agency.
And so this third proposal at 1.6, what is that just
That's what we can ask for, and that's where I would like to be, because that would be where our sweet spot is. However, if the project comes back at 2, we're on the hook for that. Plus, we got to raise the rest to finish the project, and now we're definitely over leveraged. So I want to give you this too before you. My next portion.
He does need board action today, Craig.
But I want to make sure if you didn't have any questions on this. So go ahead.
Well,
Commissioner.
I'm just saying, so you go for the 2.9 and it comes in at 2, that's still over your budget.
Right.
So how do you pay for the difference?
So, which brings me to my next, which is our projection. So I took the liberty of trying to answer that question before we got there, is to figure out what is our current projection. At current, the services that we offer that are grant reimbursements rates, we would not be able to sustain. But because we are opening up 2 new programs that are fee-for-service programs, which gives us the opportunity to bring in a lot more revenue. And the fee-for-service programs are our Medicaid programs, which we will be billing Medicaid for services that we're already providing. So, for example, our adult home health program that we're already providing, currently we get donations and reimbursements for that service. So we don't deny anybody. However, if we provide the exact same service to a Medicaid participant, the Medicaid program pays us regardless. So basically it's guaranteed money.
So that's where you see in 2021.
Right. That's where,
386,000.
that's where that projection comes in. Because now I have 100 clients in Oconee County, right? I have 100 clients in Oconee County, and right now I'm scheduled to service every county that touches Oconee. So that's Alpena, Mount Morenci, Oscoda, a little bit of Otsego, and Iosco counties. And if I got 100 in Oconee, I can only tell you what we can possibly net out of 500 counties. And that projection is only based on 100 participants.
But to service those people, you've got to increase your staff costs.
There you go. So, and that's the thing, and that's based off of, that's already built into that number.
Let's see, it is.
That is built into that staff cost. Right now, we have 6 staff that take care of 110 clients. So if we based off that projection, off of 6 clients, based off of what the average numbers is, that's $120,000 just based off for 6 clients.
And,
I mean, 6 workers, excuse me.
and this is based on the millage proposal in November passes.
That does not go anywhere. Well, that projection, the numbers that are projected has the millage in it, yes.
Yeah, it does.
But that's not what this is going to fund.
Right, I
I want
understand.
people to understand, I'm not asking for a millage increase to pay for the
No,
new
but it's in
building,
your numbers here.
But it is in my projected
Right.
budget for the
Right.
board, yes.
Right.
The only problem I have with the Medicaid dollars is if the paperwork is not right, you're not gonna get the money.
We are on that, Gary. I have
I'm,
companies. Yeah,
cause my wife
trust me.
was in healthcare and she did home care and even at the hospital here, if something,
I have right now I have Lansing helping to construct this program, and we've already been approved for it. The billing for this is literally filling it out on a sheet of paper. That is the minimum requirement. However, I don't believe in the minimums. We're going to get what's called an electronic verification program, or EVV. The state of Michigan says that we don't need that until 2023. I'd rather be proactive than reactive. So we're going to start with our program with an EVV that will back up, electronically locate, geotag every shift, give us access to payroll. All that stuff is going to be electronically captured. So we don't have the problems like we had with our other partners and documentation.
So are you saying in these numbers right here, Lenny, that in 2020, that you project $231,000 to the good
In additional revenue, yep,
in 2020?
in this year.
Yeah.
Because we've had additional donations. People are actually contributing to their services more so than what they have ever had. We've cut down the cost of our home delivered meals by putting our staff and our department on a budget. We haven't missed a meal in COVID. Matter of fact, our home delivered meals actually increased. We've actually increased the number of meals that we put out per
I
day.
mean, you're actually showing like $121,000 increase in revenue from 19 to 20.
And that's basically what we're doing
Right
by
now.
cutting the fat. And that's just me going, why are we paying for that? Get that out of here. Who is our person? Why do we pay 3 times for that? No, that's got to go. And that's just me just going through our budget going, nope, we're not vending with them. We're not doing that with this person. We can find that cheaper.
Because it is it will be a county bonding, so I would like a copy of the packet that you provided to the commissioners. The state packet that you had for them.
Okay, that's fine.
You can get that, please.
Yep.
Yeah, you would definitely need it. So, so then in your projection in 21, what you're showing here is that with your surplus, you would have the money to pay for the loan payment if indeed you use 2.9 million. But you're not gonna use that in 21 anyway, because it would never get built that fast.
It's not going to get built.
Right, yeah.
So it's not going to be built for another probably 18 months.
Yeah,
And
at
until
least.
we officially walk through, USDA basically says that you're only paying for what's drawn out from the contract.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So basically, our first couple payments on this wouldn't be the full because it's not fully built.
Lenny, let's go back to a moment if we could, please. You were talking about the 6 staff covering 110
Oh,
clients right now.
So he's thinking
Is that under the Medicaid fee for service?
No, this is under our in-home services. So under our grants and contracts,
Oh, okay, the
So-
200,000.
yes. So that's currently what we're making just in.
What is the 72,000 that you would be losing in '21 that you would have had in 2020?
72,000 losing?
Yeah.
Yeah, where are you seeing that?
Second line, grants and contracts, 2020 is 272.6, and then in 2021 it's 200.
So here's what some of the things that we've kind of looked at.
Carolyn,
Okay, so
explain that in the
yeah,
end.
yeah, it's in the second line. I see where you're saying. So here's where we're looking. So say, Ms. Brumman, you are getting 2 hours of services from our center.
Oh, thank you.
Okay? And that's in-home services. That's me coming in,
That's what I need.
taking care of your house, cooking for you and cleaning. And you're only given two hours. If we say, Ms. Brumman, you could get up to 8 hours a week if you would flip to DHS services. Okay? So now that's pulling away from our grant category because our grant is not a dollar to dollar match.
Right.
We get 25 cents off of every dollar we spend.
Right, right.
So, Ms. Brumman, I will help you meet with your DHS person because you're a Medicaid participant. You have Medicaid and Medicare. You're a dual participant. You can get on the service and you will still keep us as your provider and you'll still keep the person that you love who comes in every day. Only now we're able to provide you with more. Would you like to switch? And we would help you. So you decide to switch, that reduces the deficit in our grant, but raises the fee for service.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
And the
that's
reason
what that
is
is.
the COVID.
Was that?
Her original question was the answer is in your notes here as the 2020 includes special COVID grants.
Grants, right,
Right.
that's where the 72,000
That's
loss
the
is.
difference.
Yeah, and that's the difference a little bit too. So we get a little bit in grants for the funding that we got, for that.
That's your good.
Okay, now I'd like to go back to that 6 staff, 110 clients.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that because you border other counties,
Mm-hmm.
that you would be able to have the option to increase your client load.
Mm-hmm.
Run that past me again, please.
Okay, so say for example, somebody calls me from
Oscoda County.
Oscoda County, and they're mile or right on the border by Kern. Okay, and I have a staff member that lives in Mitchell Township. I need you to cover in Mile. Okay, our policy,
But isn't Oscoda County gonna say, whoa, that's mine?
Oscoda County is going, whoa, thank God, because the people right there are not doing it. They don't have it. There's no services that does that. It's all private citizens. So Oscoda DHS is saying, who the heck is going to take care of these people?
Oh, okay, okay then.
Because there's nobody really that's able to do it. The
Right.
state of
No.
Michigan says you don't have any zones. If you're able to provide it, drive to Saginaw and help
Okay,
people.
okay.
But for right now, it's all individuals. So any individuals. This is also our transportation program that we're looking to build as well, and get that off the ground. It's basically, if you're a Medicaid service provider, you can provide the entire state of Michigan if you want it.
Okay, okay.
Just logistically, it'd be a nightmare trying to do stuff in Traverse City.
Well, of course, but a half mile over the county border?
Not too
Good to
much.
go.
And like I said, I'm not trying to act, rain on anybody's parade, but I am trying to catch some windfall for us, which is income, but I'm also trying to service individuals, who are hard hit,
In
which
the
is seniors.
past, I have heard probably more than really seen, comments and so on from people who I know with ACCOA that staffing has been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Home health type of staffing. Do you feel that you would find that staff, be able to train them and have adequate numbers for you to enhance that 110 clients?
As long as our federal government doesn't pass another stimulus package that says you can make more money sitting on your butt than working.
Okay,
I had 15 resumes the week of that thing ending. 15. And I've been trying to get people for 11 jobs in our building since March.
Yeah.
And the moment that ended, 15 magical resumes
isn't that amazing?
just showed up and was like, hey, I need a job.
Yeah.
So if they don't pass another help you bill that creates,
Let me ask this, and I realize that this is an in-house determined by you and your board. What is the frequency of evaluation of these providers, these staff people, and how do you do that?
Every employee, because we receive federal and states, are background checked. We have to background each person. They have to immediately take a drug screening before they're even employed. Okay? Just because it's legal in Michigan is not legal in my facility. People has like, oh look, you are a great applicant. Thank you. You test positive. Bye-bye. So we also do evaluations from staff, and our managers randomly show up on their shift to see if they're providing services. So that, I believe in accountability.
Okay, I know you do, and I appreciate and applaud you for that. There are way too many stories. We've sat here and listened to the stories of individuals the clients and the children of those clients having had terrible experiences.
I'm hoping that stink and funk would get off with something new. I mean, at where we're at currently, I'm pigeonholed of what I can offer and what I can do.
Right.
And I would like to do this with federal and state help. I still, I contacted our representative for this district, and she's behind this project, and she's going to offer up a letter of support behind this project.
Would you agree with the concept that no service is better than bad service?
Whew. I guess it depends on what it is, because I would rather have her. I would much rather not have a doctor than have a bad doctor and die on the table.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. We maybe did have some bad service, and when the right person gets in there, the service gets better. So
Exactly. So
you got nothing to work with. So what's your time frame? What do
18
you?
months. I want to break ground possibly.
So this bond issue's got to go before the voters.
Right. Does it? I mean, here's the thing, because it's not a millage. I'm not doing anything.
No, but
like
it's a
that.
bond. You can't borrow money without. You got to ask the voters.
But then are the voters, because if you do it that way, then it becomes.
And I think there's actually two issues. So if you do phase two, so are you? I mean, you're going to need some operating money. I mean, we talked about this when we
Phase two with
the
phase
double
two.
the double one.
Yeah. So phase two, which is this half,
Yeah,
could be paid 100%. It just requires a feasibility study. The
to
federal.
build, but we got to operate the thing.
Yes, and that means operating capital with me coming with the overhead. So yes, that's going to increase my overhead of heating.
So you think you can do
electricity.
this? You can just get it built, put out a bond issue, get it built, and then you've got enough cash flow to operate the thing. You're not going to need an operating millage to keep this thing running.
I didn't say that.
Sorry.
I said phase one is all I could be responsible.
Phase one is what? So
I'm dreaming for phase two.
you have operating capital to operate phase
There's
one.
one.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why I reduced it back down to phase one and just say this is just phase
So
one.
the proposal of phase one is that building only, not phase two.
None of
And
this.
that would be the lower number, the
13,000, which is
1 million.
We can do one of the two proposals.
This one, 1
However,
million, that
see,
one?
This gives us no wiggle room because we have to sit
I see.
right there. That
This
gives us
one-
that two gives us a little bit more.
So this is
wiggle room.
phase one with wiggle room.
Right,
This is
yeah.
phase one with no wiggle room.
No wiggle room.
This is the sky.
Cost. This is me going to a contractor. It is what it is. If somebody gets sick, you just got to do it. I don't need accidental overtime. You can't come in with some whoopsie surprises. It is what it is.
Now, if the money comes from USDA, why isn't a bond issue for our voters?
Well, they got to pay it back somehow. We got to. So I mean, on this one,
But the people are not paying it back. We're paying it back. The seniors, our senior centers are going to pay that back out of our operational budget.
Out of the millage.
Well, I have a millage and their user
But
fees.
it's not just that. But
So you think-
our millage? Because we can't pay it from our grant dollars because our grant dollars are for grant dollars. But it would be from our operational millage and from our fee for service.
okay. I guess I'm reading. I didn't realize. So you think you can float this thing?
$4,000 a month. That's our target, and we were trying to go under. So that would be about $60 grand a year.
$6,000 a year for what?
So I don't know.
For
You got to vote
total,
on that? I think
we have
do.
Like I said, we have to
bond
ask for
out.
this to deobligate it all.
I
So
don't-
to get to 2 million.
We didn't bond for Cedar Lake.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't vote for Cedar Lake.
Well, we made an assessment. We did you're doing an assessment, so it's getting done through the court. I mean, I was just reading. So Crawford County just did this year, and they did what is it? They did a 3 mil or 0.30 mill bond issue for a new senior center. And they're building the whole thing. They're doing the exact same thing.
But they did it under the mill.
They did it under that.
Yeah, they're paying it
took
through
they
through
took it to the
taxpayer,
voter and it
right.
said, hey, taxpayer cover. What I was trying to do was to avoid all of that because I'm already asking for a millage increase to cover costs.
Yeah.
But that cost is not built into this. I want to reiterate that cost that I'm asking is not to be into that. But I didn't want to come back and say, hey, let's build a senior center.
It's a new one to me. I don't, if you can look in, I'll look too, but I mean, it's normally you're going to do a bond issue and not be able to pay it with your current capital. You need outside capital, and you're doing the bond issue with voter millage,
With voter money,
or
right?
voter money. I mean, you're still doing with voter money, but this is an addition to what you're already doing it with. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure any borrowing we do would have to be voted on, but I don't know what you do now.
Well, if-
Find out.
I don't know. Like I said, that's why I brought it to you because I got it to the 10-yard line. So I need a wide out bootleg option. I need a handoff down the middle with a fullback. How we're gonna get this thing across the goal line? Because I did a lot of work to get it to this point.
So what are you saying, I guess, in the bottom line is if you did phase one.
I mean, I look it up
What are you
and
saying
everything
you can
says you gotta
afford a year in
vote.
payments?
About
But that's if you're using
$4,000 a
money.
month, so about 60,000.
60,000 a year.
Which-
So you're gonna need to be
1.6 million.
one point, yeah, you're gonna need to be about 1 point.
My
I think
total out
quick,
the door
simple
cost
question
for
is,
this project
we
is
borrow
no
with
more
a-
than 1.5. That's paying architects, paying everything in there at
And
1.5.
that gets you,
I
yeah.
don't think we can do a bond
However, it doesn't.
Well,
order.
I understand.
or a vote.
I would like to be there, but because I don't have a contractor that's going to give me hard costs
Right now.
and I have to start this process with USDA because it takes a while.
Usually when you say bond, you're talking about,
So we got to look into that and see
Yep.
what that takes.
That's fine. That's why I brought it to you guys because you guys are the experts on this and see what it takes. Like I said, I get it. I get what you're saying. You know, you're using your operational capital to pay rent. It would be no different if I didn't own the senior center. If the county didn't give that building to us, we would still use our operational budget to pay rent. That's really no different. So if we were to move to that Glenny site and we were paying, you know, the owner on the Glenny site $2,000 a month, we would still be paying rent to that building.
Yeah, right, yeah.
let's go down the road and say this moves forward. Let's go down 2.5, 3 years. What would you do with the wonderful elephant that you have?
We would hopefully procure grant dollars to turn that into a community project, our community kitchen, a business incubator. But we're not going to liquidate that asset. That asset is going to stay there. But I don't want it to be a millstone around us to just drag around. We want to put somebody in the community to use it.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna have heat, you're still gonna have all some
Would you
overhead
attempt
costs
to
there.
void it from your inventory? Or would you maintain it in ACCOA's inventory?
It's going to be in our. I can't speak for behalf of the board, but I would like to keep it in our inventory that we have it. It was given to us. You know, ultimately, believe it or not, I know this is an ambitious project, but we need to offer up additional sites in Oconee County to get additional
You
people.
got that right.
So this is just the start of the dominoes because we need to be in Glenny. We need to be in these other areas so that we're getting all of our seniors who are paying taxes. This is just to start us to get us going with this area, and Lincoln is the most centrist.
I realize that they're very different, that veterans are under governmental areas and so on. But I can see a parallel between the full 40 hours a week service, 35 hours a week service that we're giving to our vets from 1 day a week to that. I
What's
see the
happened
same-
with- yeah,
I
what's
see the
I was
same-
going to go talk to Tony. I was like, hey, if they approve this, would you be interested in moving your office into our facility? Not to take you away from him, but
No.
that's a bigger area that
Puts
would
it
have a
puts
workout
it in
area. it would
closer
have
to the
all-
center of the county.
Right, and that's what I was trying to do when I looked at.
I think this is admirable, Lenny. I applaud you for,
So the site you're looking at is in Lincoln then?
Yes. Are you gonna make me say it?
No. No, I don't, I don't care anymore
I'm
than
like,
that.
I'm holding some cards back.
No, I don't care. I mean,
It's got to be in the DDA for them to help you. So
There you go. See, that's all I gotta say. It's gotta be.
So I'm looking at, so the millage to fund the new Crawford County Commission on Aging building is a bond, and they issued it, and it had to go out to the voters. Crawford County voters will decide on a millage request to fund the purchase, renovation, expansion of a building to house, so they already have a building, they're just gonna renovate it. A $2.2 million in bond
well, they're doing more than renovate.
being
for
secured from
2.2 million.
USDA Rural Development for a total of $428,000 in bonds has been secured to purchase the building. So we gotta find that out.
And if you do, and that's the thing, if you do it that way and you vote, then I wouldn't have to pay the thing because the public is paying for it. Then at that point, if it's going to be a referendum for people to vote, then it would be.
You still have to have bond.
Yeah, you'd have to bond. I mean, they'd have a millage, and that, so you'd be at what, like a 0.2 mils to
Not-
fund that second one?
Barely, because it would be, 0.2 would be.
Point 2
$150,000.
would buy the building, and then your current operating monies would
Keep it
fund
going.
keeping it going.
Yep.
I mean, that's the, when we talked about this, that's the way to go, to
Right.
me. Now, that's asking for more, but
Well, and one of the interesting things, I realize some of us old are dying out, but a lot of us aren't. And nobody's getting any younger.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm not too. Here's the thing. Here's what I know. The stuff that is in the building are not just aesthetics. We are talking about a workout gym and a weight training. There is not a workout gym within 25, 30 miles of us. I can tell you right now, exercise for seniors makes you healthier and makes you more
absolutely.
pandemic proof. Okay?
Absolutely.
So when a pandemic like this is going to happen again, it's just the nature of the thing. We would be better insulated. Our average age in this county is 58.1. Okay? Our average median income is $32,000. We have the capability of doing this. We're talking about a 6-pack of beer a month to get this off the ground, which is not overall very hard. And I already said that we were trying to leverage this. You know, it's not my ideal option to do it this way. I thought we could do it where we don't even have to bring it to the consumer.
well, we talked, you know, that's,
Ideally, I was trying to do it that way. But you're telling me, I mean, we have to go with the law says. If the law says we have to do it this way,
Yeah.
you know, but we're talking about
What's the
a
most-
business incubator that's going to bring business.
well, what it is, I mean, we talked about this, when I first came on the board, I talked about this, but I realized that we're broke as a county, we can't do this kind of stuff. So it's not just a senior center, it's a senior/community center.
Yes.
That was the idea, so the idea that, and we talked about the one in Midland, I think you guys went and saw a few, so.
We
the
went
one-
down, we drove all the way down to Port Huron and we saw.
So when you have seniors and you have young people and you have middle-aged people all using the same facilities, other than Corona is bad, but I mean, when all that's gone and we're
Yep.
living in a normal world again, it's a great integration of all these different,
For the
especially in
county.
our area.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you know, I'm an Elkonaner. I don't know if that's the word, but I live in Elkona County. I'm tired of going into the Aplex to get some of the things that I already do. Like, why keep throwing Alpena? I argue with them, and I said, how much money have you spent within the last 25 years in Elkona County?
Yeah, well, I know.
Are we in an operational zone, which means we can qualify for this? And they're like, yeah. So then help us.
The ones that I researched on this, and I think you've seen it, I mean, the devil in the details on this is operations and keeping it going. That's why I'm more inclined to bond it out, get it built, and use your operational money to fund the running of it. Because if you're running on a shoestring, and then next thing you find out, oh, we actually can't heat that corner because we don't have enough money left. We'll keep the senior part going. I mean, I'd hate to go at it because I think this is a great idea. But I hate to go at it and do it and then go, well, you know, that black line, we actually got to shut that down.
Well, and that's the reason why I looked at this, because Craig, here's what you got to take in consideration as well. We're not asking for the whole nut.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I said that we had liquidity that we can put towards
Right.
this.
Yep.
The EDA or EDC and MEDC is willing to give us $500,000 to fund that part of the
Yep.
building. Not all of this, just the business incubator. So they're willing to give us $500,000 just for that. okay, then I could possibly reach out to somebody like, another foundation and say, hey,
Yeah.
could you pay for that? But however, if we're doing it that way, then you move my project from November, finishing probably by the end of next year, to 2022, 2023.
Wow.
Because now we got to get on the millage. Now we got to take public comment. Now we got to make sure that people see the project, and then it's going from there.
Is there, if it does, if you find out it does need to be bonded or a bond issue voted on, is there time to get it on November?
I know I wouldn't want to do it. Yeah, August 11th is the time.
No.
I would not want to put
Educate
this
everybody.
project.
Technically, yes.
Technically, yes, but to get all the education done in that.
No,
probably not.
I wouldn't want to put this
So-
on November with our current bond increase.
You know, ACCOA is a private entity. They're not, I mean, we oversee them, but they're private.
You
They-
hire them to provide services.
Right.
Through the millage.
And we allow them to use, we give them the millage. We could give the millage to anybody, any private entity that we wanted. So you're actually a private entity. I mean, so maybe it's like going to a bank for you guys. We
Right.
can prove payback, give us some money.
But they can't file through the USDA.
Without
They're
being,
not a
They need
government.
us to do the,
Right.
yeah.
That's,
but that doesn't even be voted on by the voters for us. to-
She'll know, Julie will know.
And Jennifer
Or
Wall,
Jennifer?
Jennifer Wall, she would be willing to talk about this and go with you guys and me.
She's the one I was talking to about getting MSU.
And I've already talked to MSU Extension and Les, I told them,
Yeah.
they have a building, they have an office waiting
Right.
to go right here. So
Oh, yeah.
we're talking about putting this as a centralized hub for all services in the county in this building.
So are we looking for a vote of what? Confidence you want here? What do you want? What do
But I
you,
don't know now. I don't know. Like, do we vote to say that we're going to approach USDA and then figure this out? Because that's what I need. I need you guys to say yes to moving the process forward.
Well, I think we all agree it's a great project, but we gotta have some answers, right?
you make some phone calls as we sit here, I guess. I mean, I don't know what we need to do here other than you're gonna gather more information. There's nothing, we're not voting to sign anything today.
No, here's the thing. I'm really done with my side of things. I've given you what I've gotten so far. The second half of what I'm working now is securing phase 2. Like,
So-
I have not stopped working. Phase 1 is here. Phase 2 is now. I've already contacted NIMCOG, and we're trying to find somebody to do a feasibility study for us.
So, well, you need $2 million. You think you can pay it back from your operational monies right now. So you're gonna find out from Julie, I need $2 million. How do I get this $2 million?
It's in that application right there.
Right,
We
so,
fill out that application, and they give us that, and they say, you're on the hook for that.
If she has some answers for us.
and if she can do that without a vote of us, other than we sign off and say,
We're responsible for paying it back. But like I said, I don't know what the contract and what you guys have already done it, because basically it would be.
I think it's so rare. I mean, it doesn't happen where somebody's gonna self-finance basically and not ask the voters for additional monies. Normally,
I would hope that would be refreshing to our voters who are listening.
well,
That we're trying to self-finance and
It
they
could-
come to the table and ask for money.
yeah, or it could be the other way. And they could think, how come you got so much money?
Yeah.
What are you doing with all that money?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other problem.
Having the computers from 1975, having exercise equipment from the Nixon administration, having an operating system and filing
So you
system
need
that's
to-
so antiquated.
You need questions answered by that Julie.
Well, actually, I guess I do have a question. I mean, something goes wrong, you're gonna need the operating money that we're already giving you to pay that. What happens to the services that we're supposed to be doing anyways, or that we said we were going
yeah.
to do?
We're still providing those services.
Well, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, if something went wrong where you just ran out of money or something, right?
Yes.
Cause you're gonna, if the money goes there instead of to the,
24% of our budget is guaranteed, and that's grant dollars. Okay? That's through AAA. That's 24%. That's state, federal, and AAA funds. 62% of our budget is millage. Again,
that's.
every year we put it on the ballot. That's guaranteed. The remaining balance comes from fee for service
Yep.
and donations, fundraising, and all the things that are wild cards. So it is my hope that that bracket will then supersede this bracket, which is the millage portion. Because this is dollar to dollar, I can't use that money
Right.
for anything because it has to be used for grant projects.
All right, you give us lots to look into.
As always.
So you do some digging, you talk to Jennifer.
And then if you would like, I can have a Zoom meeting
Yeah.
with you guys,
Yeah.
with her,
And
talk about this.
what
Yeah, we need
what would the liability be? Is there any? I mean, you're assuming there is no liability, but we want to make sure of that. Does it need a vote of the people? Are you going to have to put out a bond issue? Do we have to put out a bond issue and then give it to you? What? How does that all work?
I mean, basically, them being private, all we're doing is if we signed that, we're just guaranteeing that the money would get paid if they went belly up.
Saying that they're legit,
Huh?
saying that they're legit.
Yeah, I mean, that's
And
all
also
we,
assuming responsibility for the debt.
right, assuming the responsibility of the
Well,
debt if it didn't. Right.
Because as a private entity, how they can't ask voters for money.
Correct,
We have to ask the voters for the
Right.
money, the bond and any such thing.
which is when you do the millage request, you're doing it on their behalf because you are
Right.
supporting the seniors.
Got
They're
you.
just the ones providing the services.
Right.
It's you guys that are on the hook for that.
I
Right.
think so.
You
Yeah, I don't know how you get around that.
can't.
No, because as I said, if they have to use the millage money to pay for this, that's the money that we procured for them by putting it on the ballot.
At their request,
I'm sorry.
at their request.
Working together with them, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so, yeah, we see it as a benefit and we are gonna provide the funds to ACCOA to build a building and operate it. At the end of the day, if
Like
they,
the last large bonding project that we had, which was then the water system for the city pier, so I have all that information.
Yeah.
Here, so I can look into that and see where how
and school bondings have to be, they gotta be voted on. You can't get around bonding the sinking fund bond and all those other bonds that they do. You gotta vote on all that. If you're gonna borrow money in the taxpayer's name. Now, so that's what I was getting at. So what if you didn't go through rural development? I mean, if you're that flush with cash,
Yeah,
go to
I'm
LP
saying-
and the savings bank and say, look, here's what we got.
And then the interest rate would be 3.75, and then the rates of things are different.
Cause I think as a private group, that you guys could do
Well,
that.
here's the thing, yes, as a private group, I already have this on the table with Northland Credit, and they are looking at doing a business line of credit, for that. I am looking at what the government part of me says to do, which is go with the lowest bid and try to do it that way. For 30 years, paying $77,000 in just accrued interest, that's a pretty sweet deal on that. But if I have to take it to a bank, a brick and mortar bank,
Yeah, and
I am not gonna get that rate
No,
at all.
No, you're not.
No, that's the way, that's the way to go. It's just you gotta do it.
So, I mean, yes, like I said, I'll do whatever is required, and we'll roll the dice with the community and we'll try to educate, we'll put out the models out there. But ultimately, my heart was not to try to do this by coming to the table with my hands empty. I wanted to say, this is what we can do if budgeted correctly without having to come to the table and say, we need to tax you to do it. So that was my heart and my brain power that was trying to put that on the table, to saying with a correct budget, with good understanding and planning, we could do this apart from a millage.
Well, I know it's just semantics here, but you don't have the money to do
Right.
it. You gotta borrow the money to do it. You've got cash flow, you think, over 20, 30 years,
That is off of projection.
but
Yep.
you have to, I mean,
Borrow the money to do
you
it.
gotta get it right now in order for it to work. And so you're asking the people to trust you, Lenny, private citizen who represents ACCOA, to give you $2 million, and you're gonna promise to pay us back.
Let's get in this car together.
Yeah, and that's,
That's it. That's kind of.
so we gotta ask those people, are you guys willing, or we gotta convince them, you guys willing to do this? I mean, I don't know, that's my take on it, but I don't say we can't. That's just maybe a little more effort that we gotta go
Little more
through.
lift.
A little more education on, and that you've got, I mean, we're well on the way here.
Yeah.
But I'm not seeing by the end of the year.
Oh well, at this see, and then here's the thing too. If this is going to push it back, which I'm okay with, and that's
I'm thinking maybe
that sucks. But here's the thing: we'll work with what it has to do. By that time, I'll have projection numbers. I'll see where the trends are going as far as the global pandemic. We'll have, let's say because of this now we have to wait till the spring, and now to put a millage proposal because I want to educate people. I want people to rant and I'll rave. I want to give them that 30 seconds to be like, why the heck do we need this? Well, you're 380 pounds with all these pre-existing conditions.
Yep.
Let's walk on a treadmill. Let's have diabetes classes. Let's have a foot clinic. Let's have something that you can be proud of.
Nope.
So I want to be able to talk to that citizen, to be able to say, this is my vision. This is our vision.
Oh, we
This
got to
is our
sell it.
vision."
We gotta
Exactly.
sell it. I mean, the senior side is probably an easy sell. That's already, you've got a built-in.
Well, and here's the sad part about it. The feds are willing to pay for all of this part, but they won't pay for that.
Yeah.
They're willing to give us $500,000 for a business incubator because it's going to create jobs. So if you're Joe Blow and you're just if you got Bob's tools, you can come up to my business incubator and get a suite for $100 a month. And the feds say, absolutely, that sounds great. But if I'm trying to help people be healthy, have congregate meals, and have the services, they're like, I can't really fund that. So that's where we're at.
Okay. Our treasurer is gonna look into some stuff. We're gonna look into some stuff. We're gonna come together in, what do you think? A week? We should maybe Zoom together here. We don't need a full meeting to do that. Maybe you and me and finance or something, and we sit down with you and see what we found.
Yep.
And then by the time the next meeting rolls around, we'll be ready to,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
fair enough?
That sounds right to me.
We'll just come up with a plan and,
Very good, Lenny.
No, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Is that everything?
Well, you just had a non-construction.
Before we adjourn, we're still in regular meeting, right?
yes.
Okay, in paying bills today, I need to transfer some money from our contingency to disaster fund, but I need a board approval on that. And I have it made out.
Okay.
I want to look at it.
Yes.
You moving it into 426?
Huh?
You're moving it in, no, not 426.
Yeah.
426, 462.
Okay, I will email you the packet or have them, because they have the entire 9 PDF presentation.
Oh, perfect.
So they can just forward that off to you, and then you would have all
Move
the
to
documents,
approve
because
transfer of
when you apply,
funds
you have to
from
apply for it
activity
all, so they
X
wanna make
to
sure you don't have
activity
any
Y.
From contingency to disaster
You apply
fund.
for all of it, and that part.
That's what he's doing.
180.
This one?
Yeah, so that part.
Well, he's got the paper right here.
So usually we're.
Yeah, I got it.
Construction.
Does this include paying for the $75 or?
So it's a motion to
No,
move,
we need, well, I'm doing it while he's here.
Phenomenal.
we got a motion here to do.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we move $1,000 from our 101-890-999, which is our contingency fund, to 101-426-959-000, which is our disaster fund, leaving a balance of $53,804 in our contingency fund.
Support.
Discussion? Hearing none. How much is in that disaster fund now? What were we?
Well, we were over $9,000 now.
When do we get, we're supposed to be getting that back, aren't we?
Nobody's ever said that. We just keep track of all the invoices, but nothing's ever come around that we can submit bills that we're spending on that.
Is there a place to
We're
apply?
doing everything, but there's nobody coming through grants for the county yet.
There's 8,500 spent, or budgeted out of there.
Well, I know, but we got like 700 and some dollars in bills right now.
Well, you just put another. what was it?
Thousand?
Thousand, yeah.
9,500.
Yeah, 9,500, so we're up to close to that in that. But yeah, I mean, we're keeping track of all this stuff.
Oh,
We
you-
got it there, but whether we're ever able to use it, if they're ever gonna come through and say, okay, counties, a CARES Act for the county, whatever
Yeah.
you spend on COVID expenses and be
Is
able
this
to
from the
submit
state or
them.
from the feds?
Commissioner, this is
Whatever.
Eric, if I could step in a second.
Go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, through the CARES Act, my office, the prosecutors and the court offices were awarded certain amounts. My office had $27,000 to spend on things or to reimburse for money already spent and things up in the future up till the end of September next year. I've applied for that. I haven't heard back, but it's a non-competitive grant, so I feel like we're probably going to get it. The most significant thing on there was the technology, cleaning supplies, and overtime to pay back for people who are off of work on quarantine. So I wrote the grant, and I anticipate hearing back shortly on it.
So
That was specific though to police, fire and EMS and wasn't it? And
but clean,
Well, no, that
but
was-
cleaning supplies.
Yeah, that was specific to my office.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
'cause I
prosecutor's
think
office.
Tom did one too, specific to,
And pay for your cleaning supplies, Phil.
But we've already, what I guess my question, Scott, is the amount of bills that we've taken from the disaster fund for your department for cleaning supplies, can you not reimburse the county for that once you get that fund?
Yes,
that money?
absolutely. Absolutely, Dan. And I
So then
included
you-
those.
so we're keeping track of all that. Yeah, that'll help.
A lot of
get
the
some
things you
back. Okay.
kept track of, I did too, and I put in it in my grant.
Okay.
Can,
Should probably
I would
get
ask
together
on
on that.
finance, can you, is it appropriate, and the treasurer may have a comment on, which I welcome, end up doing a journal entry transfer back over, showing it in his books, rather than showing it in our.
Oh, we'd have to
101.
go through all the invoices and put them all together
Yeah.
and figure out which one is. Yeah, we could
Well,
probably
well,
do
I
that
don't-
if that's the case.
There may be no reason to do it anyways. It comes back to the general fund, to the treasurer's office anyways. It doesn't come back to me in my name. It comes
Oh, I
back-
see. It comes back, the CARES Act money's gonna come back to the treasurer.
Comes
Debbie
back
would
to the
have-
treasurer, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay.
so at some point you guys, you and finance probably should get together and make sure you got all the right amounts. Wouldn't you think?
That are.
Yeah.
Finance and sheriff's department just sit down and make sure.
Yeah,
Everything's
We can.
covered?
I'm confident in the numbers that I sent over because it's,
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's not, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
But yeah,
All
we can
right,
do-
thanks, Scott.
no problem.
So do we gotta vote on this?
Yes.
Yep.
We got a motion and a support. Any other discussion?
You need a roll call on it?
Yes. It's money move.
Yep.
It's gonna be chair when I'm not here anymore.
No, I'm not, because I'm not gonna be here.
Roll call, please.
Gothier,
Yes.
Drummond,
Yes,
Greggy is absent, Manuck,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have.
Hearing no other business, call for adjournment. So moved. All right, see you all in the fun.